Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. I want to talk about this particular incident that happened to me some years back. I don't remember exactly how long ago. And this involved a vision that I had from. It was a it was a bad dream. It was a horrifying, terrorizing nightmare that I had. But at the same time, I took it as a vision. Um, So just like how people suffer flashbacks, well, this one was a vision, and I want to know what you guys think of this because this is really, really, really interesting, but very unnerving, very disturbing. And so you really got to hear this. So it's up to you if you believe it or not. There was a time I actually went to sleep, and I felt some anxiety to begin with because it happens every now and then. It just comes by. So I took some sedatives and I went to sleep. It took me a while, and then the sedative kicked in, and I felt relaxed and drowsy. And when I went to sleep in my recliner, I was laid back with my feet extended out, and I just went to sleep. I had a dream that me and my younger brother went into this movie theater, this old type of movie theater. We went into it was fairly crowded in there, and we sat down like in the ninth or tenth row, and most of the people there were kind of people we I guess we were familiar with. A lot of them were ghetto. A lot of them were like kind of thuggish, but they never messed with us. They didn't pay us any mind. We felt safe, I guess, but I just didn't care for the element. I didn't care for the element at all. I just cared about the movie. So they were showing commercial. They're showing trailers and advertisements. For the typical stuff that you would see in a movie theater when it starts. As the lights turned off, and then they started showing it, and then they started showing this weird kind of. I thought it was a trailer, but it was a black and white, and they showed like what appeared to be like circus freaks with some weird music, and again, I could just tell it was from the 1930s. But it was extremely weird and rare. And then I saw what appeared to look like a bunch of children or a bunch of midgets or weird looking type of people, and they were like all deformed and ugly. And then it showed right away. This one, the countdown, where they show like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the movie starts. It was black and white, and then I heard like this evil sounding chuckle, and it was coming from the screen, like it was behind the screen or something like that, and there was distortion coming from it, like a portal that opened up, ripped a hole in the fabric of reality, and then these ugly looking things, creatures started coming out, the ones from the screen, from the film, and the evil sounding chuckle was so unnerving, and then he started jumping on everybody. It was jumping on everybody, and then everybody was in a trance just looking at it, like they were hypnotized to the screen. As the countdown started, everybody stopped and then just like stared, except for me. I was just looking around and said, "Why is everybody acting that way?" And then they started putting something in their mouths as they're going to each and every person. They look like wet claymation figures. They're very ugly, like goblin type, elf type creatures, and some of them look like little kids, but ugly, deformed little kids, and their skin looked like wet clay. And they're dirty, and their clothes are dirty and all that. They started splashing what looked like mud into their mouths, and they consumed it. They swallowed it. And then one of them went to me and did the same thing, but I spit it out. Because I wasn't hypnotized. I actually spit it out, and I was actually observing them. And one of them took notice of me as he was jumping around, and it was like on the wall and up to the ceiling, and then he just turned and looked at me, and he got extremely angry, and he came running at me, coming at me, and then he just grabbed me, lifted me up, and just throwing me around like a rag doll. I remember hitting my ribs against the edge of the seat. He grabbed me from my ankles, and I was dangling upside down. And this thing was very strong. It had tremendous amount of strength. And as soon as he slammed me into my seat, all of them left. Because there was like a time limit. They were pressing for time. So all of them went back into the screen, and the portal closed, and the distortion closed. And then the film started. And everybody just pretty much woke up from their trance and continued to watch the movie. And then here I was back on my seat. I wasn't laying down hurt on the floor or whatever. I was there in my seat. And I was like, what the hell just fucking happened? And then after a good 5 minutes or so into the movie, as the movie was starting, there was some commotion that I heard from the side, from the right of me. And I heard some people cussing at each other, and I heard like punching, like, and then people were like punching each other and hitting each other, getting violent, and a lot of profanity and people being belligerent and stuff like that. And me and my brother were looking around, and everybody started cussing at each other and fighting. And I said, hey, let's get out of here, man. Let's go. Let's get out of here. So we both got up and we started to leave. And of course, it got all crowded, and we're like being pushed around. And then we actually lost, because of all the chaos that was happening. A few people started to leave because of what was happening too. And me and my brother separated. And I said, hey, come on, let's go. Let's go, come on. I wanted to reach out and grab him, but there was so much chaos. And I saw people getting their heads smashed open. Like someone just, they were getting punched, and someone looked like they were carrying some kind of blunt object and smashing someone's head in. And I felt that strong vibe of negative energy, and then I just had to get the fuck out of there. So I left, I went through the lobby, and I went out the door, out the exit. And that's when I woke up. And then when I woke up, even though I was afraid, that the sedative was still calming me down that I was taking, that I took earlier. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I started to think about, I tried to logically make something of it. I was like, what the hell is this dream about? Because it felt like a vision, like it was telling me something. From what I understand, these creatures did that to them, whatever they did to when they made them consume this muddy, crappy thing into the mouths, is to get them affected, or to get them like somehow possessed or whatever, affected in some way, to make them violent, so they could feed off their negative energy. And there was a great deal of it in that room, in that theater. And people started fighting and this and that. So they did that deliberately so they could feed off their negative energy, to make themselves more powerful. And they were upset that I was able to see them. No one else was able to see them. Everybody else was in a trance like this, just looking at the screen, paying attention while their mouths are being forced open, and then they just swallowed that gunk. I couldn't make up anything of it other than until it was over, and then I figured out the name Bogart, which is what these creatures are called. These ugly creatures, these elf-like creatures, were like called Bogarts. So, and there's more to this story. I want to continue because there's something else to it too. So, I'm gonna cut this into two parts. So this is part one. So there's gonna be more to it. There's gonna be more to it to this story. But this is what I actually figured out, and this would make sense to me. So get ready for part two.